That nigga cold, yeah, that's from my soul. I ain't playing no games, but I play about a cold. Man, y'all know how it goes. Man, you know how I roll when I roll up and smoke. Understand that's the best toke. Understand I'm no joke. Understand I'm him and y'all niggas is some losers. Understand she choosing all those fucking choosers. All I fucking know who I be, cause I rule this. Understand I'm ruthless. Understand I do this. Bring any beef to the plate like it's ruthless. I don't give a fuck, bitch. All I do is do this. Y'all niggas is losers. Understand I... Breaking down barriers, but on content, this is the Elliott in the room, and I just feel like freestyling for a second while I get my mind right before I get on camera and talk to you fine folks. So, let me fucking do that. Understand I'm here to just rap and then attack every fucking topic. Understand my logic. Got me feeling like a motherfucking prophet. For the profit, opt out. Understand I opt in. Y'all niggas ain't nothing but some bitches. That's your options. I don't understand you. Understand I'm standing over y'all niggas like y'all niggas ain't. All I do is do this. Bitch, I'm just going off. Really been a fucking boss. I ain't taking no loss. All I do is think about my life and then I sit back, attack, rewrite, then relax, then relapse, smoke a little fire. Understand I'm that guy. Understand no higher. I can fucking get, but I still keep on writing. I still keep on living. I'm still fucking lifer. Understand exciting. Understand my rhyme style got me feeling like him. Exciting. Understand my rhyme style got me feeling like him. Understand like lightning. Bitch, I'm gonna strike them. I don't play no games. I don't know. I had a little flow going. Anyway, I'll be back in a second. Normally, I don't freestyle, but I do it for free for now. Understand I'm on this fucking mic like I need to be. Understand I'm really that nigga like I need to be. I don't think you understand who I fucking be. You see, my name is $sign I used to be. Now I just go by my government, ELLIO two T's. Understand I do my motherfucking thing. Laughing at everybody. Understand I'm really fucking king. All shit, awesome, flossing. Why I gotta come back every time the beat drop. Beat drop, beat hot. Understand y'all niggas ain't know nothing. Ready for whatever get to rumbling in the jungle, in the concrete. Understand I'm really that nigga ready rumbling. I don't know. Mumble jumbo the flow. Mumble jumbo the flow. Mumble jumbo the flow. You know, I might play some Street Fighter tonight. I ain't played Street Fighter in hella long. Street Fighter 6 to be exact. I might play a little Street Fighter. I might play some Call of Duty too. I was watching my wife play earlier. She was smacking shit. I'm trash as fuck Call of Duty, but you know what? I might play some Call of Duty for y'all. I don't know. We'll see. I should probably stop bullshitting and actually come on camera, huh? I know. I'll get there. I'll get there. Not in a rush. Like, let the suspense build, right? I'm pretending like I got millions of fans, baby. Because one day I might. And as always, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Follow me, subscribe. Tell everybody you know about me. Say, hey, that nigga LA, he cold. Say, hey, that guy LA, he got a good head on his shoulders. His perspective is perspective, and I like it. I feel like prime Lil Wayne. Y'all know what that mean, right? Way to hop on. It's Young Moolah, baby. And then he come on and just rap some crazy fire. All right. Where am I at? What's up, y'all? Beat's almost done. Let's let it play for a second. All right, round of applause for me. I don't see. You know what? I remember when I very first started doing this. What is this? 2026. I first started attempting to stream and make content in 2023. And I remember when I first started, I'm the type of person that likes to plan. I like to do research. I like to get an idea of what's going on, so I don't just hop into something haphazardly, right? So I remember when I very first started, I had, and I still have it set up, but I didn't want to go buy a soundboard or get all the fancy streamer shit. So I was like, all right, well, I don't know if this is gonna work out. But as a musician and as a guy that has all that shit laid out, I remember I basically set up a soundboard via my beat machine to where I could via the stream, my applause and all the sound effects or whatever. And I remember when I first started, I had a super trash ass layout. And I was just trying my best to look like somebody. And it's funny how as time progressed, you realize with this content creation shit that motherfuckers don't care about that shit. They don't care about that shit at all, man. Having sound effects, bells and whistles and all that's cool. If you are catering to the demographic that cares about that shit, right? For me, I realized that over the course of the last year, making videos, making content, coming up with good ideas, talking about things, giving my perspective, etc. Those things do better for me than the bells and whistles. I'm not Mr. Hey guys, and I'm never gonna be that. I'm gonna be myself the entire time. I'm gonna be honest, legit. I'm gonna talk too much. I'm gonna rattle on. I'm going to be myself. But in the beginning, that's what I was all about. So it's just kind of funny to think about the beginning stages to now. Anyway, completely redundant, ridiculous, unnecessary tidbit information, and that's okay because welcome to the Elliott in the room. This is what I do. I talk a lot, and that's okay because why not? You ain't got nothing better to do. Just listen to me rap. Y'all can sit and click. You know how much bullshit I watch on a day-to-day basis? And it's not because I'm actually attracted to dumb shit or negativity or just senseless content. It's just that's what's out there. So if you're on any form of social media, if you browse Reddit, just in general, you're going to bump into unnecessary information, unnecessary conversations, unnecessary topics, unnecessary opinions. It's just going to be a whole bunch of people just throwing shit out into the ether because that's what everyone does today. So if everyone can do it, so can I. Kiss my ass. And also, thank you for watching. All right. So The Elliott Room Live, episode 3, title, Astrology Makes No Sense, so why is it so accurate? Okay. I don't know nothing about astrology, okay? Let me just be absolutely clear. Sorry, I dropped something. I know nothing about astrology. So let's just go off of the little bullshit I have. All right, so facts. Okay, astrology has existed for thousands of years, okay? Apparently. Ancient civilizations tracked the stars for navigation. I can't speak. Okay. Ancient civilizations tracked the stars for navigation, seasons, and calendars before eventually assigning personality traits to people born during certain times of the year. I mean, and even just that sentence feels like something stupid. I mean, and the general concept of life is ridiculous if you just think about it. But the fact that thousands of years ago, people was like, you know what? I bet we could find a correlation between the people that's born in February and why they act like this. But all right. Today, astrology is everywhere, okay? Horoscopes. Okay, horoscopes. I think that's one of the things that's annoying too, because sometimes you read the horoscope and somehow it be like kind of, I'm not gonna say right or accurate because a lot of that shit don't be coming true, but like just a lot of the stuff with astrology and what it's like. How do you say it? Like, it's some type of magic trick. Like, you can't really pinpoint how the magician is doing a trick. They're doing some sleight of hand. They're doing something, and something ain't quite right, but you can't really pinpoint why it's that way. That's how I feel about astrology. That's how I feel about horoscopes. That's how I feel about when you could take, there's, what is it, like 8 billion people or something on this planet? So you could take 8 billion people, you could divide them by 12, what is it? Whatever they are, the signs, right? And somehow this person in Persian, I can't speak tonight. This person in Russia and this person in North Dakota are going to have so many similarities because they were both born on April 14th, 1984. I mean, what the fuck? Right? And then also, it makes me wonder because I've never actually met anyone who was born on my birthday or in my astrology timeline the same year and all that stuff. So I don't even know if there's someone around here walking around just like me, feeling like me, like, oh shit, man, right? But it's very right, whatever. So anyway, yes, everywhere, horoscopes, TikTok, dating apps, memes, social media, whether you believe in it or not, almost everybody knows their sign. Okay. I am a Pisces. We're going to get into that a lot more later. Okay. What astrology claims? Astrology generally claims your birth chart can influence or reflect your personality, emotional tendencies, relationships, communication, strengths, weaknesses, compatibility, and life themes. Some people build their lives around it. Some think it's complete nonsense. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, and it's true. Some people absolutely, I'm a Capricorn or no. I'm a Virgo, and therefore that's why motherfucking Virgos, man. I'm a Virgo, and because I'm a Virgo, right? Y'all have heard that. Even if you don't believe in none of this, you didn't heard about Virgo. It's just like y'all, I didn't heard about Pisces, but whatever. Anyway, so there are 12 zodiac signs. That's what it's called. My bad. I couldn't think of what it was called. There's 12 zodiac signs. Quick breakdown of what each one's supposed to kind of be, okay? So you got the Aries. The Aries is defined as bold. Bold, so we all know someone's bold, right? Bold, just very, this, take me as I am, take it or leave it, whatever the fuck, right? You got the Taurus. Tauruses are considered stable, okay? Geminis are adaptable. Cancers are nurturing. Leos are confident. Virgos are analytical, among other things. Libras are diplomatic. Scorpios are intense. Sagittarius are adventurous. Capricorns are disciplined. Aquarius are unconventional. And Pisces are empathetic, emotional, and creative. Okay. The premise. So I'm a Pisces. We're going to get to that later. I'm a Pisces. Okay. And look, I'm going to be completely honest before I even get into this breakdown. Most of the shit people don't like about Pisces is hella actual and factual and accurate. And I'll do you one better. Pisces hate us. Pisces hate Pisces more than y'all do. Hell, that Pisces you don't like has such a stronger disdain for themselves than you do them. Like, I feel like being a Pisces is some of the most selfish and selfless shit you can be. You walk around like a superhero with a torn cape, and you want to save the world, but you want to do so in silence because you don't want the spotlight on you, but then also you also take offense because no one noticed that you just saved the world. So you literally are walking around going in circles. That's why the Zodiac symbol is two fishes swimming in opposite directions, because that's all we do. We just spin our wheels and go in circles. Fucking Pisces, right? Excuse my language. I'm going to curse a lot probably this time. Pisces, and then my dog's in the background starting to piss me off, right? Why are you barking? It's 10:37. Okay, you're barking, knowing damn well it's night time. Okay, shut your ass up. Anyway, Pisces, literally, we spend our time going in circles. Okay, it's a mental, like, it's such a weird thing because, and this is something that I talk to other people who are Pisces, and they not only fully agree, they totally understand where I'm coming from and all this shit, because it's such a shared experience, right? And I do wonder if other signs really share their experiences. It really does make me wonder if this shit's bullshit or if it's just lifing. But let's go into what a Pisces is. Let's go into the traits, talk about it, and then I'll try to connect it to what I actually know. Okay. So Pisces, let's see. So Pisces are from February 19th. If you're born between the dates of February 19th and March 20th, you are a Pisces. Pisces is a water sign. The symbol, as I said before, is two fish swimming in opposite directions. I don't know what. Okay, it says traditional ruler Jupiter, modern ruler Neptune. I don't know what none of that means. So, all right. The Pisces reputation. Our strengths. People tend to describe Pisces as extremely empathetic, creative, compassionate, intuitive, loyal, selfless, deep thinkers, emotionally intelligent, and great listeners. Yeah, I mean, not to. I mean, yeah, that. Hmm. The empathy part is so ridiculous because I know for a fact that I care way more about some shit that other people do. Like 99% of the time, my thoughts and my feelings about certain things are way more charged up than the other side, and I could count a hell. Anytime I'm ready to flash out and quit my job, every single time that I calm down and get to the other side and I realize the other party who I was going to flash out on didn't even know what I was even upset about. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, creative. I mean, yeah, okay. So yeah, compassionate. Uh, yeah, the compassion thing definitely screws us because it's that weird little fine line that we walk because I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like I walk this line where my compassion there's like if you're walking a tightrope, the tightrope is compassion, right? But if I fall off that compassionate rope, or rather, if you fall off of that compassionate rope with me, there's a really, really high probability that there's no coming back. Like, my compassion is so prevalent because I'm going to care so much about what you got going on, right? It's almost like you put so much of yourself into people and situations and stuff that they may not reciprocate because they don't even realize how much you're putting into it because you're doing it here and you're doing it here. But that compassion will come to bite you in the ass, especially if you feel like it was one-sided, because it's really just in our own heads. We're not even like thinking about the fact that how we feel and what we're expecting from others aren't necessarily exclusive, and it's okay that that's the case, and it's not necessarily a slight, but that compassion to kick you in the ass sometimes. Intuitive. It comes at a cost. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Loyal comes at a cost. Selfless, like I said, the Pisces is the most selfish, selfless being because again, I will give you the shirt off my back, but if you don't say thank you and you don't remember that this happened in 20 years when I bring it up, I am going to read you for filth. I'm going to look a dagger through you and I'm going to really just laser beam your soul right at the eyes, right eye to eye. I'm going straight with the laser beams. I'm Homelander. I'm Homelander. Fuck a Superman. I'm Homelander, right? Deep thinkers. Hey, I spend more time in my own head thinking about things that okay. So think of it like this. Imagine if you take every single thought that you have and you run it through a very like rigorous fact checking process. Every thought you have. So now you take the mundane situations and you run them through that filter. Then you also take the things that require more nuance and more actual depth and you run them through that filter. So now the things that aren't that big of a deal that you spend a lot of time on, cool, you spend a lot of time on them. The things that are a big deal, oh man, when you talk about taking a lot of time, we're talking about not just time, it'll consume our whole being, right? It will literally take over everything else we have going in our lives simply because we can't stop thinking about it. So when you say deep thinker, it's not just all It's not just that. It's almost to the point of being a mental problem because you're talking to yourself so much in your head about whatever you're thinking about that noise is interrupting everything else you got going on. Emotionally intelligent. Yeah. Yeah. And great listeners. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and deep dive on all this shit, but yeah, I agree. I agree. Emotionally intelligent, again, comes to a cost, and great listeners. I mean, I'll argue that we're great listeners because I'll argue that we are great listeners, but not for selfless reasons. It is selfless because we do genuinely care about what you're saying, but at the core of it, we're also hoping that that creates a contract to where you are now going to give that exact same level of care and attention to what we're saying. And the moment you don't, I'm sure you've dealt with a me before. And if you haven't, hey, how you doing? My name's Elliott. Anyway, weaknesses. Here we go. First of all, I ain't got no weaknesses, nigga. Too emotional. And see, I remember when I was a child, I used to take that real personally, the word emotional, because like I used to treat it like being emotional meant that you were sensitive and that you were soft, right? But being sensitive and being emotional, actually, okay, so the first two are too emotional and overly sensitive. Those are the two weaknesses. So being emotional and being sensitive don't mean that you're soft, but the problem is that emotion crosses boundaries, right? Emotion is sadness, is happiness, joy, anger, angst. All these different things are emotions. So we are sometimes, yeah. I don't feel like you can be too positive and too happy. I don't think I think that's one of the things people do like about us, but it's all the other parts, especially the frustration, the sadness, the anger, like that could be heavy for people to deal with, especially if they don't understand it, if they're not the same. And for them, it's like, well, why is this such a big deal? Bitch, because it is. They're escapists. I am 1,000% an escapist. 1,000%. I would absolutely rather escape this prison that I call this conversation, this situation, whatever it is, that whatever we got going on. I would rather, instead of handling it head on, because whatever, I'd rather just dip out, because my emotional, see, it goes back to the emotional, it goes to the deep thinker, like all this shit's connected, right? So think about it. If you're emotional, which means you can get riled up and then you think a lot, you're going to be in a perpetual cycle of um you're going to be in a cycle that's only going to affect you, right? And it's selfish to say it like that, but since other people may not necessarily understand what you're going through, you're going to be eating yourself alive. And the other person involved, you may be offending them, annoying them, whatever it is, but it's in a different way. And you'll justify how you are reacting to the situation as a Pisces, because you will then personify how you feel and put it above how they feel, which is why I say that Pisces are both selfless and selfish at the exact same time. Okay. So yeah, I would much rather escape this situation and just completely ghost you, or just not respond to you, or just move on, because I don't feel like dealing with this no more. I might hurt you, or you might hear something come out of my mouth that neither one of us are prepared to deal with right now. And that's not fair to you. It's not fair. Like, I'm telling you right now, I am in complete agreement with everything anti-Pisces, because as a Pisces, I'm sick of me too. Okay. Overthinkers. We already talked about that. I mean, so yeah, the strength is they're a deep thinker, but the weakness is that they're an overthinker. What the fuck is the difference? Well, there is one. Deep means depth, which means you can take a thought and really peel away the layers like an onion. But then I'll spend too much time in the thought. So the fact that I can't just use my superpower and then snap back like that is a flaw. It's definitely a weakness, and it's hard, because it'll allow me to take a situation that's not a big deal, and I'll peel away everything. I'll break it down to its core components, and then I'll dwell. And again, it affects me. It affects me internally, and then I affect my atmosphere, because even if I don't outwardly lash out or whatever the fuck, I know that my energy exists. So even if I'm internally going through turmoil, it's going to come out somehow. So that overthinking it's not good for any of us, right? Passive. Um Passive and indecisive. I'll put those together. So, yeah, I feel like it kind of goes back to the whole escapist thing. I feel like oh, okay, hold on, let me go back. I skipped one. So after escapist, it was unrealistic. So it's very interesting because think about it. For the strengths, we're supposed to be creative and intuitive and deep thinkers and very emotionally intelligent. But then the weakness is that we are unrealistic overthinkers. So it's kind of like the things that work for us also work against us if even the slightest gust of wind pushes us in another direction. And that is not necessarily our fault. But that also doesn't mean that the person dealing with us has to take the brunt of it either, which is why I go back to selfless and selfish at the same time. Passive. Yeah, passive and indecisive. So connects to the overthinking, connects to the deep thought. It's the same web. It's the same web. So now if I'm indecisive about something, it's because I'm thinking about it. And I'm thinking about all the angles of it. And I don't really know what to land on. And therefore I may just be passive in my decision making and say, hey, what do you want to do? How do you feel? Whatever you want, whatever. Because for me, again, I have to run all these different things through a whole bunch of filters and processes that I don't want to do. But unfortunately, that's just how my brain works. And to you, it's like, what is this? Why is he doing all this? But you don't understand if you're not a Pisces, which is a stupid ass cop out. But the more that I read this, the more that I'm like, victims. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, here's what I'll say. Absolutely. I am 2000% a victim, but I also am aware of the fact that my victimhood is more of a I don't know how do you say it? See, that's okay because I don't want to justify it, right? But I guess it's all about perspective. Now, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Actually, I take it back. I agree with that. Reason I agree with that is because it goes back to the whole overthinking thing. You can think yourself into a perspective that will allow you to only see yourself as the victim without identifying or being aware of anything else on the table simply because you have spent so much time analyzing the details that if you spent enough time skewed in a way where you look at the things and you can see where things affected you, oh man, that victimhood can definitely grow. Now, it's a catch-22 because again, the trade-off is the whole escapist thing. When I'm done, I'm done, and it's easy, and I don't even ever look back. But it's called escapist because you choose to reroute your perspective and be done and be gone. But at the same time, if you stick around, X, Y, and Z. So it's a thing. It connects. Poor boundaries. I don't really know how to respond to that because I feel like my boundaries are pretty well, okay, unless you're saying because okay, so for me, I don't invade anyone's nothing. I have no desire to you tell me what you want to tell me. We can talk about it. I'm not prying on nothing. I'm whatever. But I have very solid boundary lines set up in my life and around myself. And I'm probably extremely rigid in those things. I don't share anything. I'm not big on telling anyone anything about me. I do not go into too much detail at all about anything. So If they're saying poor boundaries from the perspective of me being quick to push the boundary or to cross lines, no. But if they're saying that my boundaries are poor from the perspective that I have too many of them, maybe, for example, then I agree with that. So let's see. Dating a Pisces. Okay. Common opinions. Very romantic, affectionate, emotionally available, supportive partner, wants deep connection, gives a lot. Okay. Negative side. Needs reassurance, can withdraw, difficult to read, holds on to emotional wounds, may expect people to understand them without communicating. All of that is facts. Yes. 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 The reassurance is needed to help quiet those thoughts when you're overthinking. The withdrawing happens when that escapist is starting to take over, and the escapist hasn't totally activated and totally say, hey, it's time to go. But you may withdraw a little bit more than the average person because you know that you're getting close to being done. And unfortunately, that connects to the whole difficult to read thing, because the last thing a Pisces wants to be perceived as is sensitive. Last thing a Pisces wants to be perceived as is problematic. So instead of showing it and instead of actually discussing it and talking about it, we may just clam up. But that makes everything else more difficult. So it's, again, a catch-22. Holds on to emotional wounds. Oh, man. I ain't let nothing go, nigga. What is you talking about? I remember everything that's ever happened to me. I remember every person that's ever done something to me. And a lot of people still ain't bounced back. I ain't like, what? Like, what are you talking about? There's people right now in my family who I haven't spoken to in forever and a day. My forgiveness. So, okay, the reason we hold on to emotional wounds is because of how deep we care, the compassion. It feels like the biggest of mortal sins when someone double crosses us or does us wrong, because we can't even fathom doing that to them. So when it happens to us, it really hurts. And I'm sure it hurts for anyone when they're double crossed or hurt or whatever. But when I say that I would never do something to you, I mean that. And I'll tell you that, and I'll stick to that. But if you then do that thing to me, like whatever it is, you never told me you would never do that. You never once made that same proclamation. And yet I will feel like the fact that I feel this way and I would never do you like that should be a contract, once again, that it's set in stone that can never happen to either one of us, because I feel like it should never happen to either one of us, right? It's an unrealistic way of looking at things, and I can acknowledge that. Oh, shit. Okay, here you go. May expect people to understand them without communicating. That's a very tricky one, because I do 100% have the perspective that there should be enough data in the atmosphere for you to know what's going on. But this is where the deep thinking and overthinking comes in, because I have spent more time thinking about whatever the situation is and going over every little finite detail of the situation and playing it over and over and over and over and over and re-examining all the evidence and all. I've done this so many times, dozens, if not hundreds of times, that I feel like you should already know what's up. It should be abundantly clear. But unfortunately, just because I've gone over it and I've thought it through and whatnot, does not mean that you have. And even if you have, it doesn't mean you have to the degree I have. And also, it doesn't mean that you should have to. But again, we, the Pisces, take things a little more personally than others. On that note, we're gonna do a brief pause because I need to go yell at my dog. Because if you don't shut the fuck up, it's like it is 11. I'll be right back. Even just that, right? Like, whatever. I'm back. Anyway, where was I at? Yeah, may expect people to understand them without communicating. Yeah, yeah. You don't feel the temperature radiating off my flesh. You don't see that look I got in my eye, like I'll slap the shit out of you. Like, what are we talking about? And then when I really like, ooh, how do you not? But again, it's the selfish part. We're so selfish and selfless. We don't see how you don't see it. How can you not see it? How can you not see it? How? Well, because everyone isn't taking it as seriously as we do. And that's something that I'm trying to work on. Let's see. Friendships. Let's see. People often describe Pisces friends as the therapist, the one everybody wants to vent to, always willing to help, great with advice. And then the negative is that doesn't always protect themselves, takes on everybody else's problems. Yes and no to all this. Okay, yes to all of it. But I will say this. I don't take on everyone's problems. In fact, at this point, I'll take on the problems mentally of the people that I care about. But even then, there's only a select few people where I'm just really like, oh. But I will also say that it isn't just limited to actual issues. It could be something minor. Like, for example, earlier today, so I worked 2 doubles back to back on Thursday and Friday. And I was actually extremely tired last night when I got home. And originally throughout the week, I was looking for a shift to work for tonight, which was Saturday. And I kept trying to get one, and then nobody gave me nothing by Friday. So I said when I got home Friday night, I don't care what happens, I'm not working tomorrow because everyone had a chance. Well, I wake up to 2 text messages from one of my bosses asking me if I could work, and I politely declined because nah. And then at 4:00, I got a frantic text. Say it right. A frantic text message from a coworker at my other job, basically saying, "Hey, emergency 911. I need you to work for me." And even though I had already gotten to the point of saying, "I ain't doing this. I don't want to work. I'm not in the mood," etc., I did take into consideration his situation, his feelings, the situation that the restaurant would be in if someone wasn't there to work for him, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. So I went ahead and went through the hoops and ladders that I was going to have to go through to try to work. So I called my wife. My wife was gone, so I had to call my wife, see if she can come home. It was just a whole bunch of stuff. Long story be less long, the guy hit me up and was like, "Never mind, I found coverage. Thank you so much for being willing to help." The point, the point is, he's borderline a stranger. I don't know this guy, but I was indeed willing to go above and beyond to try to take on this issue and solve it, despite the fact that I had no desire to work tonight. So I guess I can see how that's a thing. All right. So career, I mean, sure, I agree with a lot of these things. So, okay, frequently associated with things like art, music, film, writing, counseling, teaching, psychology, healthcare, and creative work. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it were up to me, I would 100% make my money doing this or being on film or creating music or writing for people. If I had a degree in psychology, I'd be a psychologist. Like, yeah, with how my brain operates, absolutely. These are absolutely the fields that I could see myself working in, and these are absolutely the fields that I have considered working in at some point in time. So yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Blah 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 blah. All right, so all right. I mean, sure. Profile is pretty sound. Let's go through the actual traits. How many traits are there? 6 traits. All right, so trait number 1 is empathy. All right, so Is empathy a gift or a curse? Hmm. 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 It's interesting. That's interesting. Is empathy a gift or a curse? Because it goes back to what I said earlier. I don't think that any of what we do is solely rooted in the action, and it's not intentional, which makes us complex psychotic weirdos. Let me elaborate. Empathy is the act of being able to feel for others and their situation and to be able to understand what they're going through, and to just genuinely be, there. I'm there for you. I'm there for your situation. I may not know exactly what you're going through, but I can understand why you're going through it. Therefore, whatever, right? But I think a heavy, I think a lot of the heavy lifting with our empathy is done via the fact that, again, we are of the hope that our empathy towards others will then mean that the world will have empathy for us. And I think that's a really hard thing to deal with, because a lot of the time the world don't give a fuck, right? So when certain situations happen in life, it's not necessarily the people like in your vicinity that may not care about you. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes you'll look at your empathy score and you'll look at how much empathy you've put into the world, and you'll look at how much actual care and compassion you've given the world, and you'll try to compare it to what you've gotten back from the world. And again, this isn't necessarily directed at direct people in your life. This is specifically us taking this is us taking offense at the fact that what we put out into the world and how much we care about others isn't necessarily thrown back our way. And I feel like it's a curse because I can't help it. It's not like I pick and choose who I give a fuck about. Now, I pick and choose who I announce that I give a fuck about. I pick and choose if I do anything about that. But internally and in my brain, there's a lot of things that I genuinely hold close to the chest, or genuinely uh feel some type of way about, that I may not actually speak on. So empathy, I'm grateful for the fact that I have empathy, and I'm grateful for the fact that I have compassion, and I'm grateful for what all that does, because I do genuinely want to help people in this world. And if I've touched just one person's heart and made them feel better about themselves, or if I've helped just one person, or if I help just one person at any point in time in my entire life, and it actually genuinely makes them feel the way that I hope that I made them feel, then there's a world where that's enough, right? But empathy comes at a cost. And sometimes we don't want to pay that cost. And sometimes we don't have a choice. So, yeah, empathy's fucking annoying. Trait 2, emotional. The feeling of the concept of feeling deeply, processing deeply. Is being emotional strength or weakness? That's the thing I don't like about this Pisces shit. And I think I'm starting to understand it a little bit more as I read through this and I talk about it. Going back to the fucking Zodiac sign and the symbol being two fish swimming in a circle. Nothing about any of these traits and the things that I'm talking about is one way or the other. It's always dead set in the middle, to where there is so much room for variance. There's so much room to sway back and forth. There's so much room for it all, which allows you to think deep and then overthink. It's annoying. Is being emotional a good thing or a bad thing? Is having emotional intelligence a good thing or a bad thing? You feel so deeply and you can process so much and it's so deep and okay, okay. But now I feel deeply about the wrong things. I'm sad. I'm pissed off and I feel it. And I'm processing that deep feeling of anger. I want to bash your skull in. Right? That's a good thing, right? Right? Like, is it a strength or a weakness? I don't know. You know, like I said, as a Pisces, I feel like a superhero with a torn cape that has the powers of Superman, and yet everything that I do in some way, shape, or form hurts me. That's what it feels like. It feels like every action harms me at the same time. It's like, oh, I just saved somebody from a burning building, and the trade-off is that my internal organs are on fire. Like it's ridiculous. It's like, is it a strength or a weakness? Both. Should. Because okay, being an emotional creature when it's the good side is fantastic. Like that's what I'm saying. And that's why those different job fields, fucking healthcare, psychology, counseling, teaching. So all of the good traits that come with being an emotional person in those fields when done right is brilliant. It's fantastic. It will most likely yield the results that you're looking for, blah, blah, blah. But again, when you take that same emotional person and then you remember that emotions are full faceted, which means anger, rage, all that stuff's an option. That same sweet, kind, overly optimistic person also has the ability to be that other person. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Trait number 3, introspective. Constant analysis, overthinking, replaying conversations, and so my God, replaying conversations. Oh my God. And self-awareness. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Like, I don't understand this shit. Like, I don't understand this whole astrology thing because it doesn't make sense to me that there are billions of people on this planet, and yet in some way, shape, or form, all of us are categorized by 12 zodiac signs. It doesn't make sense because it's weird how I can understand and agree with pretty much every single thing this thing is saying about the Pisces because my experience as a Pisces 1000% aligns with every single thing that I'm reading. And to piggyback off of that, the other Pisces that I talk to about their lives and so on and so forth have the same experiences. So my question is, why is this world so divisive if technically so many of us should be able to understand each other? I don't understand. And see, that's where the constant analysis and overthinking comes in because I just created a conceptual question that forces you to analyze it and overthink about it. And this is what I do. I'll come up with these things and I'll sit and I'll think about them in my introspective brain and I'll go in circles and an hour has passed and I've literally wasted an hour on nothing because what was the conclusion? I might even forget what I was even ranting about. Replaying conversations is the one that really pissed me off, which is why I keep coming back to it because That's why I don't understand, again, how this stuff can be so accurate. Because how can some random phantom grouping of dates mean that there is some type of group grouping of experiences that we all experience that are so similar? When I say replaying conversations is a part of my day-to-day life, it's a part of my day-to-day life, like, literally, like, I will replay so many things that I have gone through on a day-to-day basis, and I'm analyzing all of it, especially confrontations, especially situations to where, things may have gotten heated. Like, I always replay these things, and I really, again, fine-tooth comb, go through all of it, every facet of it. And it's fascinating, but it's also extremely exhausting. And I'll overthink about it, and I'll go through all of it, and I will see it from both sides, and it's a whole thing, and it's fucking frustrating. And the self-awareness part, I mean, kind of goes along with the title of this. Like, I'm aware how annoying Pisces are to deal with because I find it annoying being one. It's this vision of yourself, like, you see, it's okay. It's like you're your own worst critic, and you see the absolute worst version of yourself at all times, unless you are in tip-top flawless condition, and no one else views you from the same lens that you do. So everything is a way bigger deal than it really is. Everything. Everything is a way bigger deal than it has to be. And I promise you, nobody else in the situation or in your life is viewing it from that lens but you. Trait number 4, creative. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because that's essentially my entire archetype. I'm a creative. I literally, yeah. I mean, you go back to as a child, I wrote poetry, and then I started writing rhymes. And then for the majority of my teens throughout my early adult life, I thought I was going to be the biggest rapper ever. And I made a bunch of music, and I wrote a bunch of songs, and I made a bunch of beats, and blah, 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 blah. And today, I'm a content creator. I sit here and I take random thoughts and I turn them into observations. And then I try to come here and try to, like, figure out how to convey it to the masses, and then I try to, like, figure out how to edit it in a way where hopefully my point makes sense, and then I try to, like, make my little shorts. And I don't know if anybody actually likes me. Like, one thing that I don't do is I don't pay attention to, like, none of the feedback, none of the comments. I don't It's not that I don't care. I care. It's actually the exact opposite. I care way more than most people would ever understand. So the reason I don't engage with the content, or rather the comments or none of that, I don't look at my views. I don't know how none of my videos do. The reason I don't do any of that is because I would rather just stay in the motion of creativity and hope that the people find me, and hope that I eventually am able to parlay that into something where I can very noticeably see that, okay, I'm growing, right? And then maybe I'll take more time to focus on what the people are saying. But the point of me even saying all that is, with all the overthinking and all the extra stuff that we've already talked about, I would rather just create. In a perfect world, I would stay at home and I would create. I'd make content all day. And when I leave the house, it would be to create content in other ways, and I'd figure out cool, dope things to do, and that would be my life. Creating is life for me. And yeah. Trait number 5, idealistic. Always looking for the good, always has expectations, full of trust, optimism, and then the inevitable reality checks. Okay, perfect example. So, actually, hold on. Let me go ahead and participate in some of this real quick. Hold on, real quick. All right. Pardon me. Fuck it. Okay, there was a opportunity I had. Well, let me back up. Let me make this quick. So I used to work for somebody. I worked with him for years. Cool dude, nothing but respect for him. I saw a job posting for the establishment that he runs. I hit him up about it. He made it seem like it was an alley oop. Cool. In the past, I've gotten a couple jobs through him, which were alley oops. So I just assumed it was going to be alley oop again. I drove down there, did the whole thing. I was there for hours. We talked about a lot of different things. When I left, it was just borderline assumed that it was good to go. I was for sure gonna come in there and blah blah blah. And then when I get home, I talked to my wife about it. She was like, "All right, if that's what you want to do, cool." And then when I hit him up, trying to figure out more information and the details and how we move forward with the situation, he told me that things have changed and that exact job was no longer available. And I was like, okay, okay. But this guy has a lot of credit with me, right? He has a lot of credit with me. So I'm not taking it no type of way. I'm like, okay. So I just pitched to him the idea of, well, if that role ain't available, since you're the big boss, why don't you just create a role for me? Make me a manager. I'll do whatever, right? And long story made less long, as time went on, I started to peel back the layers and I realized, okay, he runs this shit, but he has a boss. And not only does he has a boss, but there's like a whole board above him and everything has to be approved and all this shit. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But had this been declared and expressed from the jump, I wouldn't have put so much of my Pisces brain into it, so much of my thought, so much of my overthinking, so much of my blah, 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 right? Cool. But I just constantly kept looking for the good in the situation. So I eventually got, we had a long conversation on the phone about the situation. He was just like, look, it's going to work out, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And there was a plan for me to come down there the following Monday morning to do some inventory and just kind of get a feel for what was going on. Cool. So again, being that I'm a planner, I'm thoughtful, I go through this whole mental thing. I think of all the different angles, blah, blah, blah. I spent a lot of extra excess time thinking about this job and the role and all the things that were going to go with it and how much work was going to go into it. I went through the whole shebang and I went through it a lot and I processed it and I blah, 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 right? So then when the day was supposed to come around, the day before I'm sorry, 2 days before the day, I was told to call him the day before to set up a time for the morning of. I call him the day before. He tells me to call him the morning of to see when to come. I get up super early and I call him the morning of, and he tells me some bullshit. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then a couple of hours go by and he tells me, hey, man, we can't do that today, blah, 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 blah. Now, okay, shit happens. The problem is that not his fault, but the problem was that after the first pushback, I ended up calling off from my job because I'm like, all right, well, I had an expectation. So doing inventory is normally an early morning thing. And it usually lasts X amount of hours depending on how much you got to count, but you do it early so that way you get out by a certain time. So being that I got up early with the expectation to get there really early, and then being that a couple hours went by, and I'm thinking things are on the up and up, I called off from work because I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna put this time in, and I'm gonna just call off because this opportunity is worth it. So when it didn't happen, I was kind of annoyed because I wasted time. I involved my wife, which involved planning, which involved figuring out a babysitter, which involved all these different moving pieces. And I missed out on money because I had already called off of work. So it's not like it ain't like I could just uncall off. Like I'm not called off. I got someone to pick up my shift basically. And so now I'm out of money. I'm up early. You done disrupted my day, my weekend, the last couple of weeks of my life. Nah. So from the beginning, I was looking for the good. No matter how stressful and annoying the position may have turned out to be in the long term, I was constantly looking for the good. My expectations of the situation were based off of the information that I was being fed. But the problem is that people don't always tell you what it is. They sometimes tell you what you want to hear. I trusted the individual because the individual had credit with me. My optimism was extremely high because, again, the individual had credit with me. The position seemed like a logical step in the right direction. I was down for the challenges. It all was going to be worth it. It may have took some time to get the wheels turning, but I was down for it. And then the unfortunate reality check came, and I realized, oh shit, this nigga just blowing smoke. And not only is he just blowing smoke, he ain't got the power that I thought he had, and it's almost like he was just stringing me along. Had he told me from the jump that this wasn't gonna go that way, or that the opportunity to create another position or whatever wasn't an option, whatever the fuck, I would have just dismissed the situation and be like, all right, cool, like whatever, like I'm not upset, like it is what it is. But when you waste my time, you waste my essentially you don't you he doesn't understand how much I put into this thing, that from his perspective, nothing, like the amount of time that I spent thinking about the job, planning about the job, researching the job, really putting together a real strong like case for the job, taking all the flaws and all the information that I was fed about the job, really conceptualizing how I can improve things. Like there was a lot of thought that went into this. It's not just, oh, I was going to work a job. No, I literally spent a lot of time on these thoughts. So, of course, the concept of that may be foreign to him because he probably didn't see it the way that I did. But, when things didn't go the way that I had hoped they would, I very professionally, very professionally disclosed my displeasure with the situation. And I ain't heard from the nigga since. So, in an ideal world, what you say to me is what you say, and then I can then take it, process it, filter it, conceptualize it, and then if everything makes sense, we come in the middle, we shake hands, and then it's a harmonious marriage. When it's not that, at least if it's not that from your side, but it is from my side, and then things go a different way, justifiably so, I may feel like fuck you in the end. And that is part of being a Pisces. The escapist. All right. Here's what I'll say about that. Here's what I'll say about that. So for me, based off of all the information that we've shared about the Pisces, and in this case, a lot of it does pertain to me and my core code of conduct. Operating this system that we do, this little complex system that we have, this overly complex system that we have that requires resources that nobody told us that we needed to expend. It's very draining. It's taxing. And it's a self-imposed tax, which is why it's insane, which is why we are insane. Pisces are insane. Everything that we do, all the stuff that we complain about is self-inflicted. But since we cannot do anything about it because we're not intentionally doing it, the damage just keep getting done, right? So when we're labeled escapists, it's a double-sided thing. Yes, we escape from situations we don't want to be in. Once it's time to skedaddle, it's over, it's done. I have no problem cutting ties to you. Yes. The other side of escapism is the concept of removing yourself from the world and immersing yourself in something else to kind of get away from what you got going on in the real world. For me, I don't quite think that's how it works for me. Because everything that I deal with in the real world, I usually bring forth to, my content or music or whatever. However, I've been smoking weed since I was 18 years old. And so the last 20 years, right? And I feel like the number one reason that I smoke has nothing to do with the concept of being high, but rather the idea of elevating and escaping all of these things that I feel just a little bit is worth every ounce that I've ever bought ever, right? Sometimes the numbing of the thoughts and the feelings and all that stuff, all the stuff that fuck it that weed gives you, I don't know where I would be today throughout everything that I've been through if I didn't have my little coping mechanism, right? Now, let me be very clear because there's a very thin nuance here. I can quit smoking weed tomorrow, right? I've quit before. The concept of smoking isn't the thing. Being a stoner or none, it's not about that. It's the idea of being able to kind of escape where I'm at while still being where I'm at. So as a bartender, server, blah, 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 I deal with hundreds of people every single week. And to do my job well requires a certain level of energy and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes all the noise from my real life and then all the expectations from my job will coincide, which will create this sonic boom. So hitting that weed, hitting that vape pen, doing what I do to numb all that is a huge, huge asset. Is it a coping mechanism? Absolutely. Is it a crutch? Absolutely. But it's not a habit. I want to be clear. You see, I would just replace the weed with something else that helped me escape those feelings. It doesn't even have to be a stimulant. It could be skydiving. It could be horseback riding. It could be getting into like fighting, like get a box, so like sparring or like actually joining some type of backyard fighting. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to do none of that shit, but I'm just saying like it isn't the smoking. It's the thing that numbs all of the other things you have going on. That's the escapism. And I feel like it's a hardwired, deeply ingrained, needed release for us simply because of how all of our traits combined have us so wound up that we need something, no matter what it is, to help us unwind. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad thing. I just say that it is an absolute, and it's not something that I can personally do anything about. If I don't have a solid, logical way to compress some of this, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. So as I said earlier, I mean, there's 8 billion people on Earth, and each sign. Well, first and foremost, I can't speak for the other 11 signs. I don't know what it's like to be a Leo. I don't know if any of that totally coincides with who they are. I don't know if it's confirmation bias, but it's also very fascinating that every single thing that I read, I can literally say aligns with who I am as a person. Now, does it make it legit? I don't know. Again, I don't think it makes total sense that billions of people can be broken into 12 categories. And I also think it's weird because if that was the case, wouldn't there be more community? Like, shouldn't all the Leos and Pisces and Virgos and etc. throughout the course of 8 billion people have a home simply because the other people understand each other? You would think that that would be a more common thing. You would think that there'd be more people out there who have a home base, somewhere they can go, right? But instead, most of us on this earth, no matter how many people we have surrounding us, feel alone because we are alone. Our lives are ours. Our lives are our fears, our tribulations, all these things that we deal with, whether other people are involved or not. Each one of us has our own connection to the things that we go through in life. So it's not unrealistic to it's not unrealistic for us all to have that main character syndrome, to feel like what we're going through is the highlights of what's going on in the world, right? Every last one of us are going through something, and even though the person next to you has no idea, what you're going through personally may genuinely be the heaviest thing that you ever felt, and that's not okay, right? But again, it is weird that there are so many of us who are supposedly share these exact same traits, and yet there's no just true community, right? It just doesn't make sense. Like, how can they describe a whole category of people so well? It just doesn't make sense. Because you would think that this whole our whole existence is labeled as so complex and it's so multifaceted. It's just so weird how, and again, this could be the Pisces thing. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm thinking deeply and I'm overthinking about it. But it does seem like every single thing, at least for our category, fits us. How is that even possible? What do y'all think? I don't know. So here's my questions to y'all. What's your sign? If you were to read your sign's description about your traits and characteristics, do you feel like what you're reading aligns with who you are as a person? Does all of it feel spot on? Does some of it feel um embellished? Or do you feel like I feel about what your breakdown is, and that this is way too accurate to just be random, right? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about astrology. I think that it is fascinating. I think that it's ridiculous. And I think that the whole concept is downright weird. I don't know what I believe, but I do know that it's worth talking about. Until next time, breaking down barriers, building up content. This has been the Elliott. Why won't he stop barking? Like, I know I'm ending, but like, why are you trying to ruin the end? Right? Anyway, breaking down barriers, building up content. This has been the Elliott in the Room Live, episode 3. I'm going to turn this into a video clip like I always do. Hopefully, the edited version is just as compelling as this conversation was in real time. Until next time, thank you for watching. Now, to be honest, I'm not really done, though. I'm not, like, getting off stream. I'm just getting off that topic. I'm probably going to switch to some gaming because I'm done talking. I just spent how long? Damn, I spent like an hour and a half talking about this shit. This nigga like to talk. Anyway, where is the gaming one? La 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 la. There we go. There we go. Hold on. One momento. All right. I think I am in the mood to play some Arc Raiders. Although I do kind of, you know what? Let's play a little Call of Duty just to get some shooting in, just to shoot some shit. And then we'll switch to Arc Raiders. Let's switch this over. All right, let's get to it. I wish I can get into Warzone. Like, I would love to get into Warzone. The problem with Warzone for me is that my patience, like, I don't know. So I felt okay. A couple things. My patience wears thin. I don't know where to drop in at. I drop in. I spend all the time it takes to actually, like, you know, find stuff or whatever. Then I immediately get smoked, and it is what it is. But hell of an, oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. Get this shit out my screen, bro. All right. Oh yeah, that just shows you that she was playing on mine last. All right, you know what? Team deathmatch, local farm, works for me. Let's see how I do. Let's see how I do. I hope I do all right. I feel like with all of the like Arc Raiders, Stella Montis training I've done, Call of Duty should be a lot easier. I don't know why I don't play it more. Honestly, Call of Duty is one of those games that I've been playing forever like everyone else. And I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't have a group. That's another thing. Like, that's another reason why I'm tired of my whole loner introspective bullshit. I need more people to play with. Like, I need more online friends. I remember way before social media and way before we got all this access, I had so many like online friends on like AOL Instant Messenger and all this shit. I used to be on forums and all that shit. And then as life progressed and I became a quote-unquote adult and I had a kid and all the things, I just stopped with all that. And now I don't have any online friends to play any of these games with, which sucks because all those years of people that I was hanging out with, I never like got to game with them because I didn't have any games to play back then.
The guild has chosen to invest in you. Do not let us down.
I got hella lucky with that first one, though. I wasn't even looking. Oh, really? From the back, you bitch ass nigga? Pause, probably. That's crazy. Make sure nobody's behind me. Oh, that sucks.
Hostile care package above.
La la la. Huh?
All channels, enemy LDD are in.
I'm sorry. I know this shit yeah, I'm ready. I'm actually not doing that bad. Somebody got me, that's right. Hey, bitch. I'm actually not doing that right now. Arc Raiders helped a lot. I'll tell you that much. That game is ridiculous. Oh, you little whore. Why are you overshooting me? I'm already dead, bro. That's the one thing I learned from Arc Raiders. Cover. Which is stupid to say. Cover. I deserve that. Cover. Using the environment better, etc. Like, I fucked up by shooting early. That was on me. Also, I had a shot earlier and I didn't take it. tried it. I tried it. I'm trying to fake him out. It didn't work.
Hostile skewer inbound.
Damn, y'all aim. Why you aim for me, bro? I went inside. You don't know what a building looks like? Terrible shooting. What the fuck was that? No, you just get nervous for no reason. There go my dead body right there. That's crazy. Trash that shooting. I gotta stop doing that. It's a terrible habit. Being trash is a terrible habit. And the thing is, I'm the most self-depreciating player. Like, I know I'm trash. Oh, shit. See? See? I know I'm trash. Timing. The timing is everything. Oh, you bitch. Back up. What? Crazy. Back up off me. Fuck. That's what he gets for trying to be fancy. And I go for a finisher. Little bitch. Little bitch. Oh, you got a fucking shield, nigga. Not you ever, nigga. You dumb.
UAV commencing surveillance overflight.
Okay.
UAV mission time clock 50%. No fuel. UAV RTB.
You're almost out of time. Double down and take this.
What's up? Doesn't count. Hey, I got second place.
All targets secured.
Good shit.
Well executed, people.
Little kill didn't count, little nigga. Hey. All right, good shit. Up to you. I'm literally I'm done. I'm gonna set it on right now. We can here. All right, I am going to be done for a little bit because it's time to eat. So we are gonna come back in a little bit, and for now, I'm gonna be gone. So until then, don't miss me too much. And if you do, I appreciate you.